If you're sick of paying for Netflix, or you've just watched everything on there and you want to try something new without paying, then let me share with you the very best websites for streaming films and TV completely free of charge, and yes, completely legal too. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Tom here again from Save the Student. Now, I know why you're here. You're probably sat down wanting to watch something, so I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm going to get straight into sharing the very best websites for watching films and TV, all of which are 100% free. Oh, but very quickly before I do, make sure to hit like and subscribe for loads more stuff like this. Okay, so first up, we're going to be looking at Freevee, which is the free streaming platform offered by Amazon. So as I say, Freevee is part of Amazon, and you can get it as an app on pretty much any and every device, although obviously do check in advance. And if you can get the app, it will just show you all the Freevee content and nothing else. But for this, I am going to very quickly show you how to get there on a browser, because it's not the easiest thing to do. So if you're not a Prime subscriber, which I'm guessing you're not, since you're trying to watch stuff for free, this is what it will look like when you click Prime Video in the toolbar. And then if you scroll down from there, you'll see a button that says Watch Free. And if you click that, it'll take you to the entire selection of Freevee content. But if for whatever reason that option doesn't show up for you, a quick little trick that I've learned is just to go to amazon.co.uk/Freevee, and it will then redirect you to the Freevee homepage. In terms of what's on Freevee, there's a lot of stuff to choose from, including for some reason a lot of Gordon Ramsay content like Hell's Kitchen, but also some really genuinely big name and well-rated things like Mad Men, for example. And I'm filming this around the time of Halloween, so they're kind of showcasing a lot of their horror movie stuff right now too. So again, really well-known stuff like Scream 2, Carrie, Poltergeist as well. But genuinely, as I'm scrolling through, you can see loads and loads of films and TV shows that you've probably heard of before. And just remember that the reason this is all free, as is the case with pretty much all free streaming platforms, is that you will have to watch ads with the content. So it's just kind of like watching on TV, really. Speaking of which, one of the big selling points of Freevee is that on top of all of the on-demand stuff, they also have a ton of live TV channels too. Again, completely free. So when you click on live TV at the top, you'll get to this page with a list, and basically you want to look for any channel that doesn't have this little yellow shopping bag, because those are the channels that you need to pay for, you know, as part of a Prime subscription or whatever. So apart from those paid ones, there are loads of free channels, and a lot of them are dedicated to just one TV show. So there's a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, there's a Hell's Kitchen channel, because clearly someone at Freevee absolutely loves Gordon Ramsay, a Homes Under the Hammer channel as well, but also some general themed channels like History Hunters or this PGA Tour channel, which are more like kind of standard TV channels showing different programs of the same general type. So again, you can see all of these channels are free, and it's only when you get down to here and the little yellow shopping bags start appearing that you have to start paying. So all in all, there's an absolutely massive selection of stuff on Freevee, and definitely worth checking out. And next up, we're going to be looking at Tubi, which I think is how it's pronounced. So Tubi, again, like Freevee, offers free content thanks to the ads, and again has its fair share of really well-known titles. So straight away, we've got Gone Girl, which was a massive film when it came out, The Da Vinci Code 2, and the sequel Inferno, Black Swan, another massive film, and Ali, which is a little bit older, but again, big film. And you can also see that again, because I'm filming around Halloween, they're highlighting some of their horror movies. Now, I have to say, these aren't quite as well known as some of the ones we saw on Freevee, and I actually didn't even know they'd made a second one of that Winnie the Pooh horror thing. But again, loads to scroll through. Donnie Darko popping up here too, another really well-known and well-rated film. And while I remember, Tubi, like Freevee, is available on pretty much any and every device you might think of. So, you know, we're talking smart TVs, we're talking games consoles, we're talking mobile apps, all of that kind of stuff. Annoyingly, they don't separate out the TV and film content very well. So if you do want to watch TV shows, you kind of have to go through the genres and collections to click things like Series Spotlight or UK Reality and Lifestyle. But I would say, to be honest, the films on Tubi are probably stronger than the TV shows anyway, and it's definitely worth digging through a few of the categories, because when I went into movie night, for example, I discovered that they had King Kong, the Grand Budapest Hotel, Boyhood, and a few other big films as well. And finally, just a note to say that Tubi does have some original content that it's made itself. I haven't watched any of it, so this could be an extremely unfair review, but I'd say that a lot of it doesn't look amazing. Although that said, actually, I have watched some of the Vice documentaries in the past, and they can be decent. But again, everything on here is free, and so hopefully at the very least, it can make for some easy background watching. The next free streaming service that we're going to be looking at is Box of Broadcasts, also known as Bob, which is only available to UK students. So as I say, Bob is only available for UK students, and to get access to it, you'll need to select your university from the list, and then it will redirect you to your uni's login portal. Now, once you're in and you confirmed your email address, you'll see this page, and don't worry, it's not meant to have anything on it just yet, because this isn't really a traditional streaming platform. I think it's best to think of Bob as like a library or an archive resource. It basically compiles recordings of TV going back years and years, and its main intention is for people to be able to reference things for academic purposes. So that's kind of why you're getting access to it via your university. And it is worth noting as well that of all of these, Bob is the only one that's only available on a browser. So you won't be able to watch it on an app, on your games console, or on a smart TV, or whatever else. So you'll see when you click guide at the top, you'll get a TV guide with a bunch of Freevee channels, and you can see some of the shows are already available to watch. And for some of them, it says you need to request them. But actually, if you go back a couple of days, pretty much all of the shows that were on the main 5 channels are now available anyway. Beyond that though, the real draw of Bob, in my opinion, is that it has recordings of so many films and TV shows that you'd otherwise only be able to watch on demand on a paid-for streaming service like Netflix or Amazon or something like that. So The Simpsons, for example, is on Disney+, but if you search it on Bob, you can find loads of recordings of it that you can watch here for free. And because they're all just straight recordings from the TV channels, you can just skip through all of the ads as well. Bob also has films from when they've been broadcast on TV. So if I search for Toy Story, for instance, you've got all of the first 4 films, and the same for the Home Alone films too. And a top tip, make sure you select title only in the search bar so it doesn't bring up a load of irrelevant results. Now, there might still be some stuff that you weren't looking for, but this filter definitely helps. Obviously though, given the nature of what it is, not everything is on Bob. So there's only a couple of early episodes of Game of Thrones, for example, which isn't especially useful if you wanted to watch the whole series the whole way through. And just a fun little trick to help you find some TV shows and films without having to search for every single title to see if Bob has it. If you search for, say, action films and then filter by public playlists, you'll find people have put together lists for you. So there's loads of action films in this one. And then when I search romantic comedies, again, I found loads of them. So while Bob might not have the consistency or reliability of, you know, some of the other streaming services that we're going to look at, in terms of the quality of TV shows and films that are on there, and the fact that you don't have to watch any of the ads, I say this is definitely one of your best free options. Shifting back to more traditional free streaming platforms that anyone can use, we're now going to take a look at Plex. So this is what it looks like when you log into Plex on a browser, but again, it is available on pretty much every single device that you might want to stream on. And to get started, you just need to click start streaming. Surprise, surprise. And when you do, it will immediately prompt you to start watching its live TV channels, or at least it did for me anyway. But I'm going to take a look at the on-demand stuff first, because I think that's probably what you're here for. So Plex have gone early with their seasonal content. Even though it's Halloween, they're pushing their Christmas stuff, and they've got a lot of classic films on there. It's a Wonderful Life, A Christmas Carol, some really old school classics. Labyrinth jumps out as a really recognizable title. Jungle, the film with Daniel Radcliffe, which I feel like we've seen on a few of these sites. The same would go as well for The Girl Next Door, which I think we've seen on a couple of them as well. But there are 1 or 2 really good, really well-known films on here, like Drive with Ryan Gosling, and they have some standout specials too. Overall though, I would say that even though there are some decent titles dotted around, I'd say the selection on Plex isn't quite as good as some of the other free streaming sites. And then in terms of those live TV channels, so like some of the other websites that we've seen, a lot of these TV channels are dedicated to a single TV show. So Deal or No Deal or Baywatch, but they do also have some sports channels like these ones for UFC and Major League Baseball, and a couple of film channels too, in case you don't fancy any of the on-demand titles. So like I say, Plex's library maybe isn't quite as good as Freevee or Tubi's or even Bob's as well, but I still think it's worth giving it a go, given that it is absolutely free. Next up, another website that anyone can use, not just students, and it's Pluto. So Pluto, again, like most of the others, is free with ads, and you can watch it on all of the usual streaming devices. But I'm starting at Google here because I wanted to highlight the fact that when you go into Pluto for the first time, it just starts playing one of the live TV channels, which I'm not going to lie, does become kind of annoying because I can't see any way to close it. But it does underline the fact that you don't need to sign in to watch stuff on Pluto. You can literally just start watching stuff for free. But anyway, I'll look at the on-demand stuff first, and even compared to Plex, I'd say there's a little bit of a drop-off in quality here. I wouldn't consider myself a huge TV or film expert, but I've not heard of most of these. And one of the few that I did was the film Halloween, which obviously is good, but that's pretty much the only one that I did recognize. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that all the stuff on here is bad, but there aren't too many titles where you look at them and go, oh yeah, I know from other people that that's really good, I'm going to watch it. So you'll either have to look at the ratings for them on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, or just take a chance and hope that whatever you end up watching will be good. And then looking at those live TV channels, and fair play, they do have a hell of a lot of them. They even have a load just for Halloween, and you can see on the left, they list all of the TV channels by category. So you've got film channels, crime dramas, true crime, adult animation, which actually includes dedicated channels for South Park and Avatar. So actually there's some more well-known stuff there. And then some news channels and some sports channels too, and a few other things. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag on Pluto, but as I say, it's totally free and you don't even have to log in. So it's definitely worth taking a look. And finally, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the free on-demand streaming services for channels like the BBC, ITV, all of those kinds of channels, because believe me, there's probably more on there than you first thought. So obviously we all know that these will all have whatever shows these channels are known for. So like BBC iPlayer will obviously have EastEnders and whatever else, but a lot of them have also got content that you probably would not associate with that channel. So BBC iPlayer, for instance, has Pretty Little Liars, and You, which is the combined catch-up service for Dave and a few other channels, that has Sons of Anarchy, Mad Men, plus loads of episodes of Would I Lie to You, which, okay, to be fair, is shown on Dave all the time. And a lot of them have films too, and I have to say, probably the most impressive selection is on ITVX, which has a bunch of the Harry Potter films, Jurassic Park, Joker, some James Bond films. Honestly, their film selection, I would say, is probably better than some paid-for streaming sites. And because they're so mainstream, most of these streaming services will be available on pretty much all devices. So definitely check them out to see what they have, because their libraries are surprisingly good. So there you go. Those are all of the best free streaming websites in the UK, and hopefully there is more than enough there for you to find something to watch. But if you do still want to use a paid-for streaming website, make sure you check out our guide that we've linked to in the description below, which goes through all of the best ways to save money on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and all of the other websites too. So do give that a look, and make sure to hit like and subscribe so you never miss another video.